my guzzlers. We're going to do a dessert, sort of semi-dessert option. Don't often do desserts, do cakes and things like that. But I'm planning a menu that every aspect of it incorporates gin. So I'm going to make a little palate cleanser. I'm going to make a sorbet that's basically a gin and tonic sorbet. So I've got a selection of gins here. We'll decide which one we're going to use later. But first, we're going to need to make a simple little syrup. So in this saucepan, I've got 200 ml of water, and in this bowl, I've got 200 grams of caster sugar. So all I'm going to do now is gently warm that up until the sugar's dissolved, and then boil it for 1 minute. Now, while my syrup is getting ready, of course, any decent gin and tonic, you normally would have some lemon with it. Okay, or you can have lime with it. You don't have to have anything with it. But we're going to add, I'm just going to zest 1 lemon. And although we're not going to need this for a couple of hours, I'm just getting everything ready. So I'm going to zest this, and then I'm going to zest, then I'm going to get all the juice out. And we'll just put that to one side, ready for when our syrup's ready and we've had it chilled. Right, that's just got about another 30 seconds or so of boiling, and then I'm going to take it off the heat. In the bowl that I have the sugar in, I've got a metal bowl because I want this to cool quite quickly. I'm now going to tip 200 ml of tonic water. Now, of course, one has to think of one's figure, so of course it's slimline. And we will be adding to that slimline tonic that syrup. Bit pointless having a slimline, but that's all we got in the house. So, final thing, well, it's not quite the final thing, but I'm not going to prepare the egg just yet. I'm just going to let that cool a little bit. I'm now just going to put 2 tablespoons of gin. Now, I was going to use my Maidstone distillery gin, but I'm going to save that for something else, I think. Just have a touch of tankery. So, to my lemon juice and zest, I'm just going to add 2 tablespoons of gin, and then we're just going to put that to one side with the white of 1 egg, which currently is still in the eggshell. But all we're going to do now is I'm going to add that to that, and then I'm putting that in the fridge for 2 hours to chill down before we can blend in the other ingredients. So that's the tonic water and syrup mixture nicely chilled, and now I'm going to add in that lemon juice, gin and lemon zest. We're just going to mix that together, and then you're going to need a container that's going to go in your freezer. So I've got this, is quite nice and shallow, so that will help with the freezing. And we now want to get it so it's sort of just frozen. We don't want it frozen in a solid lump of ice because we want to make a sorbet, so we're going to need to break it up. So this could take up to 2 hours. It partly depends on your freezer. So what I suggest is you keep a regular eye on it. It's probably going to take at least an hour. Okay, so we're going to shove that in the freezer, and then when it's just about frozen, we'll move on to the next stage, at which point you'll want your egg white. There's the white of 1 egg, and I'm just going to give it a quick little whisk up. And I've got a bowl ready, and I've got a little hand blender. You can do it in a food processor. It's up to you. All I'm going to do is just, I'm not trying to obviously whisk this properly, but get it a bit frothy, and then we can start blending it in to the semi-frozen sorbet. So I've scooped out the semi-frozen sorbet. You can You can let it freeze a little bit more than that if you wanted to, but make sure you then break it up. But then you need to be working quite quickly. We're going to put the egg white in and then basically pulse it to get it all mixed through, but we want to try not to let it melt too much. Now at this point we transfer it back into that tray and it's now going back in the freezer where we're going to let it freeze solid. So next time you see this is when we're going to take it out ready to eat it. That's nicely frozen, but obviously it's going to melt very quickly. So I'm just going to give it a quick rough over going over with a fork. That's nice. And then we're just going to put it into our serving dish. He says spilling it everywhere. And let's give it a little bit of a taste. Not that he ain't really tried it. Basically a gin and tonic slushy. If you get sensitive teeth, it's bloody cold. There you go. Our gin and tonic sorbet.